Hi there YouTube, it's me Gemma at A Story and a Song coming to you today with a tag video. And the tag video that I have chosen to do this time is the over 30s book tag. Now I will link the originator of that tag below. The name has gone right out of my head because I am the worst. But I will link it below, and I will also link a couple of other ones that I have watched from people that I follow as well. It's been a great way to find other YouTubers of my age, you know, around there that are, you know, going through some of the similar life experience to you. Sometimes when people are talking about being in college or being in school and things like that, you're a bit like, I can't relate anymore, that was a long time ago. So I will, without further ado, start the tag. And the first prompt was to choose a book with a protagonist who's over 30, and I chose The Book of Bones by John Connolly. The protagonist in this is Charlie Parker, and he has been in a series of novels by John Connolly, starting with Every Dead Thing, and he was over 30 at the start of the series, and now he is heading into his late 40s, early 50s, along with his two main sort of accomplices, Angel and Louis, both of whom are, you know, getting grey, they're a bit older. I wouldn't spoil too much about this, but I love Charlie Parker, I love the series. I still have one book to go before this absolute chonker makes it on to my list. I think it's going to be on my TBR for June, but please don't quote me. I highly recommend any of the Charlie Parker books, but I would start with Every Dead Thing. That's just a nice spine. Book of Bones there, see? Really like John Connolly, and I have made the effort pretty much every time he's been in Glasgow to go and see him, so quite a few of my John Connolly books are signed editions. This one isn't, but if he comes to Glasgow, I'll take this and get it signed. Book that represents you when you were younger, and I chose Wild Magic by Tamora Pierce. This was young Gemma, who, to be quite honest, was a total introvert and still is, who preferred reading to playing with other children, and who loved to get lost in a fantasy world. Now this was first published in 1992, but I picked this up in about 1999, so I would have been 13 years old when I first read this. And I managed to get the other ones from the local library. I do have them all, but they're all in different editions. I don't particularly care about that, but I would highly recommend Tamora Pierce's writing. She always writes great female-centred stories. She always has good relationships, and also talks about, you know, like things like grief. I mean, Diane's lost her family, she's finding it hard to trust. It deals with a lot of different issues in a very subtle way for when you're a 13-year-old kid. So this definitely represents who I was at 13. And the next one was to pick a book that represents who you are now, and I chose The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. And the reason I chose this is because this really marked my sort of graduation from children's and young adult books into adult fiction, along with the Millennium series, both of which I probably picked up when I was about 14 or 15, but I have been reading these books for like nearly 20 years-ish, and I love them. I reread The Wheel of Time pretty much every other year or so. I also have them all on Kindle, so I can take them to, you know, take them on holiday and reread them. I got my husband reading them. We have spent many an hour in the jacuzzi on holiday fan casting who we think is going to play Rand al'Thor, and I just love, every time I read through it I discover something different. I pick up on some other nuance, and the only thing that makes me sad is that Robert Jordan didn't get to finish them himself. He did have help at the very end, and someone else took over to write the last book. I just wish we could have gotten it from him. The last book was a bit Game of Thrones ending to me, but like the first 13 books, I love them, and I'll take the ending and I'll lump it. So the next question, let me just see here, is something that has never changed about you. And I would say the honour of that goes to Pawn of Prophecy and to David Eddings in general. I have been reading these books again for like 15 years, and I remember being told the story of the Belgariad when I was about 5 or 6, when, you know, when you're in the bath and someone's like telling you a story or something. My aunt used to tell me the story about the Belgariad, and I'd be like, but are they going to get married? And she'd be like, you just need to find out. I, again, reread these all the time. They're really nothing to read. They're so short. The Malloryne is a bit longer, but it sort of solidifies everything that I love about high fantasy. It's got the Chosen One trope, it's got old magicians, it's got magic MacGuffins, it's got quests. Oh, I love it, and that will never change. So the next prompt was to pick a classic, and mine is Dracula. Always Dracula. I love vampires, I love all kinds of vampire media, but the original and best is of course Dracula. And the reason I love this as a novel as well is that Bram Stoker used so many different types of storytelling framing devices, and using the ship's logs, using letters, using the phonographs. I just think it's so clever and so modern, and that's why it stands the test of time. And I also love this edition. This is one of the cloth-bound Penguin Classics editions. I also have Dante's Inferno in this edition. Two of my favourite books, and I love it. It's very pretty. So the next prompt was actually to pick a book you like from the year you were born. I was born in 1985, and a book I really like, keeping with the theme of vampires, that came out that year was The Vampire Lestat. And I love The Vampire Lestat. I love all trashy things to do with Anne Rice and the Vampire Diaries. I even loved Queen of the Damned, the movie with Stuart Townsend and Aaliyah, which was such camp, but came out at exactly the right time, I think, of course for Warner Brothers to keep the rights to the vampires. But what a brilliant book it is, and a total answer back to Interview with the Vampire, which is also a fantastic book and a fantastic film. I recommend you watch it if you haven't, just for, I think, the best acting that Tom Cruise has ever done in his entire life. Anyway, that's all the questions from this tag. I will leave it there. If there's anything you want to chat about, comment on. You know the comments are below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. And if you want me to check your channel out, then feel free to let me know, and I'll probably come and have a look. Anyway, that's everything from me, YouTube. Take care. Bye bye.